Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project365, episode 262. Made it back out to Mom and Pop's house, but still going to bring to you 15.4 recovery. I'm going to seem like a broken record today because again and again we're talking posterior cuff, lat, shoulders. The Open has had this theme of beating up on these tissues. So I'm going to show you a couple different variations, ways to attack these tissues that are different. However, if these aren't necessarily getting to the points that you're looking for, or the sore points, please look back at 15.1, 2, and 3 recovery, because a lot of these are still going to be applicable movements for today's activities, or 15.4's activities is what I should say. Okay, so let's get to it. What we're going to do today is we're going to start out with that modified child's pose mobilization. I really like this one because it opens up the lat tissue here, right? So we're going to put our palms together like such, and all we're going to be doing is diving our head between our shoulders. What we're trying to do is get our earlobes past our shoulders. And what we're thinking about doing here is 20 repetitions, and we don't want our elbows to come out or our hands to flare downwards. So palms stay together, elbows stay nice and tight. Once we get 20 moves of that, of course we have to get onto the lat tissue themselves. We have been showing in the past just coming down here with the foam roller. Today I have a pretty soft foam roller. It's just one that I left at my parents' house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto the mobility balls, and I'm going to hit this in two different directions. First, I'm going to hit the anterior structures, okay, or the front structures of the lat. And basically what I'm going to do is try to pry the lat off the ribs from the front, okay? And then I'm going to go up into the posterior cuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this right here into the inside, just come to the front of that lat tissue. And while I'm there, I'm just going to kind of find one of those hot spots. And I could just chill out here for 20 to 40 seconds. Really just allow that ball to fall deep into those tissues, really mash out that muscle, especially if there's any hot, grindy spots, gremlins hiding in there, right? So once I do that and I get the front tissues kind of worked out, if I find a couple different hot spots, that's fine. Spend time in each one of those, okay? If not, we're going to move back onto the outside, or I should say, we're going to move back onto the posterior side, and we're going to start doing our hair slick posterior cuff mode. We're going to hit 20 of these, okay? So we knock out the hot spots on the anterior portion or the front part of the lat, really try to pry that lat tissue away from the rib cage, and then we come to the posterior side and get 20 repetitions of the hair slick posterior cuff mode. Of course, this was a shoulder tricep burner, so we got to go on to the triceps. And we're going to do that, we're just going to sit on our foam roller. Again, I'm just kind of showing you all in this right hand. To do this, we're going to do a little pin and stretch, okay, where we use our chest to kind of roll that outside portion of our tricep, or the lateral portion of our tricep. Once we find a little hot spot or a tender spot, we're just going to try to tap our opposite shoulder, okay? So we're going to come here, tap the opposite shoulder, roll down, find another hot spot, tap the opposite shoulder. I could spend 15 to 20 mobilizations here each time, working up that tissue a little bit at a time. So if I do 15 mobilizations here, I'm going to move up, kind of find another hot spot, 15 mobilizations here, right? Once I do that, I can then come here, grab a stick. I'm going to go back into that child's pose position, except what I'm really going to try to do is get into this position here. It's really going to help open up both my lat, and I'm also going to be able to try to get my tricep. What I'm going to try to do is curl behind my head as far as I can. What I'm focusing on is the pressure on the tips of the tricep right here, or the distal insertions of the tricep. So I'm going to get that pressure right onto there. I'm going to take a stick or a PVC pipe, and I'm just going to, once I get that pressure located on there, I'm just going to start to hit those curls. 20 of them right there. Our last piece that we're going to do is we really need to get into the neck tissue. So we're going to go into the doorway, hit our swimmer's stretch, okay? This is going to come on over to here. I just need a doorway. We have a regular mobility ball, a lacrosse ball, whichever one you want to think about it. What we're going to do is we're going to spend some time in this tissue right here. You can see this little triangle that it makes here, right? The SCM, or the sternocleidomastoid, comes down right here. We're just going to pop to the back of that, Okay, the ball's going to be right here. We're going to do an action where as I press that ball in, my head wants to tilt towards the ball, okay? So I'm going to look away, and my palm is going to come down like a swimming stroke here. Except now I just use the doorway. So I'm going to look away, swimming stroke down. If you look on the other side, this is what it looks like the other side, just so you can see my head movement. We got 20 of those, and that's going to wrap up our peaks of 15.4 recovery. Guys, until tomorrow, we are optimizing function to optimize performance.